what we have seen and where all this is going, because by Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. We got a nice little 5 inches here into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma right there on the borders. Also, Colorado Springs got a decent snowfall, but holy moly, as we were expecting, give us a little elevation and we will give you double-digit snowfall. So here is our system. Right now, we have snow coming into Wichita, rain into Tulsa, Oklahoma City. We are dry. Dodge City, we're seeing the snow. And by the way, a lot of these areas with our second system could see blizzard or near blizzard conditions. This is going to be a big-time storm, our second one. This one giving us some gusty weather into places like Oklahoma, also into Springfield, but that's nothing relative to what we're going to see with our second one. So this is very, very weak, relatively speaking, at least for this area. And it's all going to be pulling eastbound as we head throughout the day today. And you still have to wait for that upper level energy to get through. That could keep you a little bit cloudy, and maybe a few snowflakes still lingering behind the system. Overall, 3 to 5, but you know, someone always likes to overachieve, so we might run into that here into Kansas. Wichita, we do have snow, temperature sitting right around freezing, so it's going to be wet and maybe even bounce back a little bit here, get some rain mixing, and you see our radar is having a little bit of a hard time. It's like, wait, is that rain? Is that snow? Depending on the droplet size. So we could see a little bit of this rain mixing in, especially as the day progresses. I wouldn't be shocked with some of those milder temperatures that we have. It's not like we're well below freezing. So as we go through the afternoon, things will improve around dinner time here into Wichita as our whole system continues to go east. And this is why we're saying, 3 to 5, but we could have spots that perhaps see a little bit more than that. When it comes to snow, it's always an overachiever. There's always somebody that's going to do a little bit more than what it says. Now, we are covering Winter Storm Ember. Plans might want to include a movie marathon at home, or how about a Weather Channel marathon? We have 2 winter storms. They're going to have major impacts on cities across the entire country. Our first winter storm is Ember. It's going to bring snow, ice, severe weather to the eastern half of the country, and Jordan flakes are already flying from this thing from the Four Corners on into the southern plains.
All right, so let's focus.
Finn, our next system, and look at that energy coming in. Here it is all the way off the west coast. You see that swirl coming in, and that is going to be making its way eventually ashore and then track through the center of the country and then through the Midwest and the Northeast. This thing is going to be enormous. It's going to be bigger than the first one that we're dealing with, Ember, today. We have cold air in place on the north side, warm air in place on the south side, which means we could see some of that severe weather for us as everything progresses eastbound. So it's going to be a very intense system. These white lines, isobars, lines of equal pressure, the closer they are together, the windier it is. We could see blizzard, near blizzard conditions here in some places as our storm really cranks up. And it does that as we get into our Monday. That's when we start to see things push from Omaha all the way down into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. Tuesday, it's going to really be making its way not only into the Midwest, but the South, the Northeast, and there's going to be, I think, the lasting impressions from this will end up being the rain of all things in the Northeast. Now, there is a potential for heavy snow here into the plains, and this is where we could see some of those blizzard conditions. And remember, blizzards aren't about how much snow falls. It's about your visibility and how long you have some of these gustier winds. But this all pulls into the Midwest, but it's going to be on the warmer side. So, I do think places like Michigan might have some heavier totals, but look at the winds with this thing, 35 miles an hour. They'll be gusting even higher. And then on into the Northeast. So there's your snow. Again, Michigan could have some of the heavier stuff where theirs located. Otherwise, it'll be a pretty moderate snowfall for us. GFS going a little bit heavier on this, but we're leaning more towards the Euro. But this is where I think it's going to be extremely impactful in the Northeast, because we just got snow. We could get double-digit snowfall from our first system. Then we're going to get the warmth on top of it with our second. Very heavy rainfall, not to mention the winds are going to be outrageous. So yes, you see the snow, it's light. I don't even really care about the snow. What we care about here is going to be the intense rainfall that's going to be coming down with this system. We'll detail that a little bit later.